we are live. We should be live on YouTube, on Facebook,
Let me check that.
and on TikTok.
Let me go look at.
Our chat box is open on TikTok. I can check TikTok. You check the others.
Yeah.
So let's just go see here.
Let me refresh. Complete. I'm not seeing you live on here.
What?
Not seeing you live on YouTube.
Yes, I am on the lounge.
Let me look.
Yes, we're live.
I don't know why it didn't not showing up in mine. I'll go look here.
You're good. I'm looking now. It didn't title it right.
What did it title it?
God darn it. I cannot stand when it does this. We're live.
Okay.
I don't know what you're looking at, but
I was actually searching for the channel too.
you should have got a notification too if you're following the lounge.
Well, normally when I look at it, it pops up in my main feed on YouTube.
Yeah, but it don't always do it that way. Go to view stream. Listen to the Chosen with us.
Okay, yeah, we are live, but yeah, you're right. It didn't title it right.
There. Fix now.
I don't know why it does that.
Yep, we're good. Alright, so we are listening to The Chosen again, episode 600. No, episode 6. Yeah, we're on episode 6, and I don't never want to tell you guys when we go live that, hey, we're only going to listen to this, because it could be one that's not super long, and I'd be like, hey, you know what, let's do another one. Not only that, but after we're done, I want to talk a little bit, because it is a Bible study night, and I want to talk to you guys about a few things that were just on my heart. So we're going to talk about it, because if I ignore what Jesus is telling me to do, well, you know, he'll always get my attention other ways, and I don't want to make you mad. So let's do what
Definitely don't want to do that.
do what Jesus wants us to do, right? All right. Browse. This one's called Indescribable Compassion. Think about that title. while we're watching, I want you to think about what that means. Okay? Indescribable compassion. Alright, I'm gonna grab my drink. Be right back, Brandon.
Angel Studios.
I'll be right back, Brandon.
All right.
A stone building stands at the outskirts of a city. A rug hangs outside and a sign reads, Pawnbroker. Beneath the sign, people are waiting in line. Most are wearing ragged and dirty clothing, and they are each holding various items. Several more rugs hang on the stone wall beside them. At the front of the line, a man is wearing a yellow turban.
You're a liar!
A woman storms out of the establishment and throws something on the ground. The man in the turban watches her hurry away. Carrying a leather roll, he steps inside where the pawnbroker is standing behind a table.
She was crazy. Just because I run a charity does not mean I have to buy rocks from every old lady.
Charity.
Just like everything Roman, it's part of business. We loan proceeds seized from criminals to the poor. And others. You're passing through. I do not recall seeing you before.
I come from Tyr. The mallet is carved of maple from Sidon. The chisels are bronze. The trowel is tin from Phoenician ore.
My. Why would anyone want to part with these?
I'm on my way to the Dead Sea.
Shalom, pilgrim. Lucky me. I do not often see items of such quality. If only they were not brought in by some stranger passing through.
They weren't stolen, if that's what you're saying.
I can justify 20 denarii.
The broker puts coins in a bowl.
You're joking, that's a fraction of what they're worth.
The traveler has a sore on his arm.
Ladies and sticks.
I beg you.
Leper! You are marked!
The broker pushes him down.
You couldn't just die! You had to take us all to hell!
The traveler gets back up.
You were forbidden within 4 cubits!
He grabs the coins from the bowl.
Take it and go!
I didn't mean you. Any harm. My tools were all I had left.
He walks out, leaving behind the leather roll of tools. VidAngel Studios presents a Loaves and Fishes production.
Wait, what did he
Across a
do?
black background, simple gray fish symbols
Who?
swim across the screen.
What did he do to the broker?
A single fish moves in the opposite direction.
He didn't do
from all the
anything. He
others.
was a leper, and they don't like people who are lepers.
Who don't? The broker?
The broker.
Yeah, but he took
A second fish joins
the
first,
other
swimming
guy.
against
The broker
other.
still gave him the money.
Because he didn't realize
More
at
and more
first he was
fish
a
follow
leper.
the
That's
ones
why.
moving in the
A
opposite
leopard?
direction.
Leper. Not leopard.
That's what I said. Leopard. Leper.
Yeah.
What is a leper?
Basically somebody who has a disease and they're unclean according to the Bible.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue here. I do have the TikTok chat open,
Gaius and
so
Matthew
you
are
guys can
peering into
still
an open
chat
chest
while we're
full of
listening
coins,
if you like.
silver items, and other valuables. A few townspeople are watching them from a distance. Gaius closes the chest.
Never knew those little skiffs could hold so many fish.
They can. The weight of the catch and the sailors caused the boat to sink. They had to jump. They ended up filling 2 boats.
Gaius looks at the townspeople, and they pretend to look away.
Should we put this inside the booth?
Well, they'll be here any minute.
A passing woman slows to take a look.
At least you have your sword. Should I have a weapon?
Gaius turns to him stoically.
This can't be the first time they've been saddled with a couple of months worth of
2 years and 7 weeks.
2 years and 7 weeks?
Simon and Andrew were each granted 1 year gratis. That totals 1 year and 7 weeks plus another year less marital credit for Simon.
Okay,
Plus penalties.
that's good.
Gaius observes the busy marketplace.
And we're sitting ducks here. Just try to look natural.
I am natural. I look exactly how I feel.
Try to act like a normal person under normal circumstances. Forget I said normal.
Gaius,
Yes, Marcus.
thought it was a joke.
You could say it was comical when the men leapt from the boats.
Leapt from their boats.
They were sinking from the weight.
Told you it was made up. You can't catch this many fish that fast.
Captain, may we continue this conversation on the road?
Oh, Gaius. Don't tell me you're nervous about guarding a couple months' taxes.
Gaius and Matthew exchange looks. Meanwhile, Nicodemus is with other religious leaders.
I've just returned from questioning the man known as John the Baptizer while in Roman custody at length about him. Though his appearance is unconventional and his teachings ignorant, I've concluded he presents no material threat to Herod or to the public peace.
A man takes notes.
Order. The man has a following. We've heard as much from Brother Shmuel's testimony. Is that not a matter of concern?
I believe these followers are simply investigating as one would a loud noise. And on inspection, they will find that his words bear as much substance. He seeks attention. They do not gather on the Jordan to be immersed as we understand ritual cleansing. They stand in line because others are standing in line. They only legitimized him by ordering his detention. Very effort to keep him silent gives him a pedestal.
But, Nicodemus, we issued no such order.
No? I was shown sworn statements from the arresting soldiers saying a Pharisee had ordered his detention. Perhaps they were mistaken.
It was me.
Shmuel stands.
I turned him in.
Brother Shmuel?
He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the righteous are both alike an abomination to the Lord.
Quoting the Proverbs of Solomon is not an
I
explanation.
will not turn a blind eye to his sins even when all others do.
What sins?
He calls us a brood of vipers.
He uses coarse language to attract attention.
Do you know how vipers are born? They hatch inside their mothers. The law of Moses says you shall not hate your brother in your heart.
Were he a member of our congregation or our faction, we would admonish him. But he's not. He's a rogue who answers to no one.
Brother Shmuel, your rash actions have inflated the importance of a trivial outlier and drawn undue attention to our sect by Rome.
But he
And
is...
I'm astonished that any student of the great and learned Nicodemus would have the temerity to bypass his approval.
I'll talk to him up at din.
You will defer to your teacher on all matters of polity and practice. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
This council is adjourned.
Nicodemus bows and Shmuel walks out, quickly storming past Nicodemus.
Oh, so they got
Andrew is
let
packing
John
things up.
free.
Thaddeus hands a bowl of food to
Yeah.
Mary, and young James is taking down a tent with Simon.
They called him a viper.
Young James stops
Yeah, they
and
did.
leans against a
John
tent
doesn't
pole.
go free though.
Well, don't tell nobody. Silly.
on the road. Snakes, hunger, floods.
Thor doesn't mention the blisters, huh?
But you never read the book on constant low-level aches?
Sermon and dust in your nose.
Right.
So, what'd you do before you met him?
I was on my way to join the 288.
The Jerusalem Temple Choir. Right, okay. Yeah, I was Caesar's favorite gladiator.
I like these guys here.
Oh, I know.
Locals stop their work.
Oh, who is that? That's what's his name? Not him. The brothers. What's their name?
Simon and Andrew.
Yeah, that's who that is. That ain't who's singing, but I don't know who's singing.
Wow.
I don't either.
Stand corrected.
Thank you.
Leroy Jesus asked you to join him.
I don't know if anything's clear. You know, maybe I'll sing, maybe not. He's the only one who knows who I'll become. More than anything, he's a teacher, and we're his students.
Simon and young James start folding the tent canvas.
Good boys. Simon.
Simon goes to Jesus.
My mother is leaving. I'm escorting her back to Nazareth. I'll catch up with the others at our camp in Capernaum.
I understand. All right. I'll make sure everyone arrives safely.
I want you to go on ahead.
Ahead of the others?
You have some business to tend to at home.
Teacher, I can protect the others.
In time you will. The others don't have families. You do. Look at me. I'm leaving all this fun to escort my Ima.
Jesus walks away.
Yes, Rabbi.
Matthew is clutching a cloth napkin as he and Gaius stand before Quintus, who is looking at a ledger.
Remarkable. For the first time in a year, quarterly collections will have exceeded Pilate's projections. And if the fishermen are no longer fishing on Shabbat.
Quintus tosses an olive into his mouth.
Have an olive, Matthew. You earned it.
Thank you, Dominus.
Simon the cheat. Simon the fraud. Simon, the guy who delivered when it mattered most. I wonder if there's a way to make him do it again.
It wasn't Simon.
What if I told him it wasn't enough? He obviously performs well under pressure. And I do have a knack for creating mistakes.
Simon wasn't responsible for this, Dominus.
Oh, I don't care who he conscripts into his schemes.
Forgive me, Dominus, if my report was unclear. There was a man...
Yes. You're a fine reporter, Matthew, but you're also a bit of a rube. I read your report. It's clear Simon and his accomplice tricked you.
But there were others.
Accomplices, fine.
To what end?
Who can say? Maybe Simon wanted the other fishermen off his back. You said yourself, word of his disloyalty had spread. Or maybe to spook anyone who'd fish on Shabbat. He is a wily one.
The fishermen have taken notice.
Oh, I couldn't have worked out better. Don't tell me you're spooked.
I am neither sophisticated nor subtle, Dominus, but I am observant. I detected no subterfuge. I recorded everything I witnessed, however impossible it seemed.
You did well, Matthew. Fortunately, you have me to interpret for you.
Okay, big reader.
A man pushes between Gaius and Matthew.
It's urgent.
No kidding.
King Herod's envoy approaches.
Spotted where?
Outside Gennesaret, riding north.
Captain, Silvius Gamalius, son of Senator Gamalius, will be arriving in 1 hour.
Yes, Dominus.
Prepare my guard for inspection.
Soldiers and the messenger leave the room. Quintus goes to a wardrobe. Matthew and Gaius watch as he inspects the items hanging in it. He wets his thumb with his tongue, then buffs a spot on a leather item. He slowly turns around to face Matthew and Gaius with a grin.
How long would you have stood there?
They stiffly glance at each other.
Things turned out very well with Simon, and I'm grateful. Gaius, I've reviewed your service records. You're Germanic.
My people were.
Powerful warriors, even if they did surrender.
I believe they sensibly joined the winning team, Dominus.
Sensibly.
My only allegiance is to Rome. I've trained to fight for her since I was a boy.
And now you will lead. I hereby promote you to the rank of Primi.
Thank you for this honor, Praetor.
Gaius kneels.
Don't slobber. And Matthew, you're so wonderfully odd. Keenly intelligent, but it's your reactions to the world I love. Like right now. How you're not a stain on a cartwheel is a mystery we will have many moons to unravel, my new friend.
I saw no ruse or deception at the seashore, Dominus.
Because you have no guile. Give me your first reaction to this scenario. You will shortly be visited by a childhood rival whose father gave him everything while yours gave you nothing, and yet you've risen to a higher rank. You want to make it clear you won. That it's your meeting, even if he arrived unannounced.
I would show him my plans for infrastructure. Conquest is not simply conquering nations, but imposing a way of life.
Quintus lets the suggestion sink in.
Unbelievable. So simple. You're dismissed.
He goes to his desk and unrolls a parchment.
Thank you, Praetor.
Gaius bows, then looks to Matthew, who is about to say something else. Gaius rolls his eyes as he pulls Matthew away with him. Elsewhere, a woman wearing chunky jewelry is picking red and yellow flowers. She puts them in a shallow basket. Jesus and his students are following a path nearby.
Hello.
Mary walks up to her.
Hello. Shalom. It's a beautiful day for picking flowers.
Well, if you like Gilboa iris, lupine, and anemone, I sell them in the market.
Is that Egyptian?
She touches her necklace.
Yes, I grew up there. My father was from Ethiopia.
Subtitles read, I grew up in Egypt too. Your necklace reminds me of things I saw in my childhood.
Tamar, Anaki.
I am Tamara of Heliopolis. Jesus of Nazareth. Peace to you, sister. Thank you.
Shalom to you all.
Shalom.
She smiles and goes back to her flowers.
You were speaking Egyptian. I lived there when I was a boy.
Why were you there?
We had to leave Bethlehem when I was 2 years old because of Herod.
You lived in Bethlehem? During the massacre of the innocents?
I did.
I know the story. Herod had every child in the area under the age of 2 killed.
Yes. It was very sad. Not to spoil this beautiful day or anything, huh? Come on.
The traveler with the yellow turban is walking toward them. Tamar watches as he staggers forward. John pulls out a knife.
It's a leper! Stay back! Cover your mouth! Don't breathe his hair! Don't come any closer. It's okay, John. It's okay.
Jesus takes a leather pack from his back and lets it drop to the ground.
Rabbi, you cannot... It's disease!
Jesus holds up his hand to silence them. He moves toward the traveler.
Please. Please.
The man drops to his knees. He has sores on his neck.
Please don't turn away from me.
I won't.
Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Only if you want to, I submit to you. My sister, she was a servant at the wedding. She told me what you can do. I know you can heal me if you are willing.
Jesus steps closer, and the man looks up at him. Jesus kneels in front of him.
I am willing.
He places a hand on the man's shoulder.
Be cleansed.
A sore on the man's wrist starts to shrink. The students look on.
Man, that gives you cold chills, man.
Right.
Tamar drops the basket of flowers and covers her mouth with her hand. Jesus smiles as the sores continue to clear up. The man looks at his own chest and runs his hands along his arms.
Thank you.
He hugs Jesus.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. What can I ever do?
Do not say anything to anyone.
You don't seek your own honor?
Please just do me this one thing.
But what do I tell people?
Jesus stands, bringing the man with him.
Go. Show yourself to the priest. Let them inspect you and see that you are cleansed. Make the proper offering in the temple as Moses commanded. And go on your way.
Jesus turns to his students.
Who has an extra tunic?
The men frantically reach for their satchels.
Just one of you, just one of you. That's enough.
They were all going to get
Matthew
one.
steps forward with the tunic. He helps the traveler put it on.
Green is definitely your color. Not too shabby.
The man hugs Jesus again tightly. Tamar is staring at the scene. She takes a step back, then hurries away. Elsewhere, a woman puts a bundle of green stalks into a basket.
There
with a rope
goes.
attached. She tugs on the rope and the
Y'all
basket
just
is
seen
raised
who ran
to an
away,
opening in the
didn't
ceiling.
you?
Spread out the flags!
Yeah.
Okay.
Zebedee!
Yeah.
Can you check the grapes, please?
I forgot. We no longer have anyone on raisin duty.
On the roof, Zebedee pulls up the basket, then tastes a drying grape. He looks over the edge of the roof, and a smile spreads across his face.
Salome!
What?
They're coming!
Dad, be careful!
He hurries down steps at the side of the house. On the street, he runs to James and John. He hugs them both at once and kisses both their heads. Salome steps out with a big smile. She faces Jesus.
Hello.
She stares at him with her mouth open. She continues staring as she addresses her sons.
James, John,
Yes. Ima.
listen to him. Please. And stay by his side.
We will. We will. It's a pleasure to meet you too, Salome. I'm Jesus of Nazareth.
Of course you are.
And hello again, Zebedee.
It's an honor, Rabbi.
Imam.
She continues to gaze at Jesus with a grin.
Imam.
What are my manners? Please come in.
Are you certain that there will be others joining?
I insist. Everyone, please.
Jesus follows Salome in. Zebedee stops his sons.
What is Simon?
He's taking care of some things at home. Andrew is getting him now.
Good. I thought maybe he got cold feet, or I'd have to go drag him out of the hammock.
Are you kidding?
He's the teacher's pet.
Like, you would hardly recognize him now.
They go inside. Elsewhere, a sick woman is lying in bed. Simon places a wet cloth on her arm.
I want to.
Meditation, please you.
Okay, I want to pause for a second. I want people to understand that back then, Jesus did this, and we've talked about this before. Jesus did this to prove to people who he was. You got to remember, back then, that was the only way. Imagine if he had never showed anybody anything. Where would our Bible be today? Think about that. Think if no one ever believed him at all and never seen anything. So when man says that, when some say, don't believe it till I see it, or, goes on about not believing it until they see it, technically we seen it. Man saw Jesus Christ before he was sacrificed. So we did see Jesus Christ. Brandon didn't. I didn't. You didn't. But man did. The flesh did see Jesus Christ. So when I think about it at that level, it boggles me almost. Why people still have that same sensory of view on it. Well, I don't believe it unless I can see it. We saw it.
And I got to say, this was pointed out yesterday in our service. Casey actually pointed this out. Did you know there's still Jewish people today waiting for their Messiah? The true Messiah?
If you go over to their area, I hear it's very reserved.
Yeah.
I mean, you go there and it looks like it did back then. That's what I hear. Now, I don't know how.
Yeah, but I mean, do you know why that some Jewish people are still waiting for the Messiah to return?
I mean, there's a lot of different reasons, so it depends. What is
No,
your?
I mean, what's your I want to know what your best guess is. What do you think?
I don't know. I would prefer not to guess because there's too many. There's too many things being that have been said, but so you want to know why I think that people still wait?
Yeah, I want to know why you think that some of the Jewish people, even in Israel, still to this day, are waiting for the return of the true Messiah.
I would say this is okay. So number one, many Jewish believe, and they still believe it, but many as well thought that he's going to be a future leader, descended from now that's what I was always told, descended from King David.
Right. They believe that
which will bring
a warrior,
which will bring peace, justice, and unity. That's the real reason right there.
well, actually, the real reason is they thought he was going to come as a warrior, and he didn't. So that's why they're waiting.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you is why people are truly waiting now is if you go into like the ancient text, like in a Hebrew Bible, you would see exactly what I'm talking about. So again, there's no true fact on why there's not just one reason is what I'm saying. So it's not really
right.
There's more than one reason that someone could say why they're waiting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But in the Hebrew Bible, like Isaiah and Jeremiah, there's prophecies about a future redeemer. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Oh yeah, I knew every. Yep.
And the Messiah represents hope. I mean, obviously that's hope, a better world, a new world. So again, there's really not one answer to what you was asking. There's many different reasons. I'd be curious to hear what Casey would say on that, but
Yeah, I would too, because like he actually pointed out yesterday that people were still waiting because of the fact that they seem to think he's supposed to come as a warrior, and he didn't. He showed up as a humble servant.
yeah, they think that he's supposed to come as a warrior, but he's supposed to come as a warrior to bring peace. Again, it goes back to what I was saying. If it comes back as a warrior to bring peace on the world, to make a new world. So that's exactly what I was saying. But it's very interesting. Let's continue.
As I rejoice in you, my Lord.
Now, who's sick?
Simon's wife's mother is the one that's sick.
She falls asleep and he adjusts her blankets. In the next room, Andrew is with Eden.
The wine. Oh. He introduced us to all of his friends. It really was unlike anything. We danced. He danced.
He danced?
Yes.
Simon joins them.
She's asleep. Breathing is labored but steady.
Okay, good.
That was some soulful singing, my man.
Eden looks at Simon with a grin. Later, Simon and Andrew are outside.
Most are at Zebedee's to the group. And Salem is cooking.
Don't tell Eden I said that.
Andrew stops.
What?
They see Matthew outside the gate.
Taxman!
Simon, Andrew.
I guess no one told you the good news.
We squared our debts with Quintus.
Isn't that great? So, go back to your cage and stop following us.
Simon and Andrew keep walking.
It's not you.
They stop.
I'm here about the man.
What man?
The man at the shore who made the fish appear.
Man on the shore. You saw no man on the shore. Do you hear me?
Yes, I did! I was there, I saw!
And I bet the first thing you did was tell Rome, huh?
Simon?
They don't believe me!
Simon has him by the collar.
You really are a traitor.
He winds up to punch him, but Andrew stops him.
Best for you to forget it.
Go home, Matthew.
They don't believe what I saw. I do. I need to know. Am I deceived?
What good is our answer if you don't even listen to yourself?
Simon and Andrew leave him. In the synagogue, Yusef is at a lectern. He unrolls a parchment. Nicodemus enters.
Rabbi. Welcome, Rabbi.
Greetings.
Everything is prepared, teacher. The scrolls of Isaiah and Malachi. Would you like us to get you any water, teacher? Or?
No, thank you. Actually, I'd like to do the readings a little later. Would you mind giving me a little time to myself?
Of course, teacher.
Shmuel gets up to leave with the others.
Shmuel, would you join me, please?
He frowns, but stays behind. Meanwhile, Jesus is eating with his students. Zebedee offers a platter of nuts to Simon.
Salome didn't cook?
No.
Walnuts?
So good.
Oh, your herbs are beautiful. Rosemary, dill.
Mint, coriander, and sage for Zebedee's indigestion.
Thank you for sharing that, dear wife. So, your father was a fisherman?
Carpenter.
Is he back in Nazareth?
No. He's in heaven.
What was your father's lineage?
Josiah, father of Jeconiah at the time of the exile.
But before the exile, what tribe?
Abba.
I like genealogies. It's what we talk about.
I would imagine from the tribe of Judah. Yes?
And why would you guess the tribe of Judah?
Well, are you having a party?
A couple enters.
We've heard voices.
Mara, please come in.
Rabbi, these are our neighbors, Mara and Eliel.
We've heard about you.
Have you?
The parable of the net. I have a question about that.
Please, our master is tired. He's had a long day of walking.
It's all right. It's all right.
You said angels would come and separate the evil from the righteous. How soon do you think that they would come, Rabbi?
My friends and I recently returned from a wedding. The father of the bride was a man of great wealth, Abner. As the night got longer, near the end of the feast, what do you think the servants were doing back home?
Waiting. If they're good at their jobs.
Waiting where? In their rooms? In the kitchen?
At the gate.
At the gate. Doing what? Just standing there in the dark?
Holding lamps.
But why? Why wouldn't they just relax?
Because they don't know when he's coming back.
Suppose they figured the master was delayed in coming. So they took a nap on his bed, got drunk on his wine, and let their lamps burn down.
People look in the window.
That's easy. They would be fired and then kicked out, called a name, and told that if they ever show their face around here again...
My friends, shalom, shalom.
We were just passing by and heard a familiar voice.
We heard about the wedding. Can you do that to the well by my house?
It's Barnaby and Shula.
You know them?
Yes, Mary introduced them to me.
Ah, the ground. Why not?
You were saying, teacher? Ah, yes. Thank you, James. The servants. So it will be at the end of all things. Neither the angels in heaven, nor the Son of Man, nor the day or the hour, but only the Father. So you must always be ready, with your lamps trimmed and burning brightly.
Simon talks with John.
What's wrong? It's getting too crowded. Don't worry about it. You know, Ima and Abba love the company. I'm not worried about them.
A crowd stands just outside the open door.
Oh, okay. So what do you want to do?
Let's try to make sure the path out of your back garden is clear.
What do you think is going to happen?
Anything could happen. All these people, word spreading, wrong people stop by.
Simon, you don't have to be his bodyguard. I think he can handle anything.
Yeah, well, he called me. And if we're not fighting the Romans yet, I want to do something until that time comes.
I want you to catch men.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly. And if he needed you to know what that meant, he would have told you. So just be you. Okay? And hey, maybe you already know.
John returns to the others. Meanwhile, in the synagogue,
Well, my eyes are tired. Would you mind reading to me from the scroll of the prophet Isaiah?
Nicodemus sits, and Shmuel goes to the lectern. He reads from the open scroll.
Comfort, comfort my people, says
A
our...
little further down, a few lines.
A voice cries, in the wilderness, prepare the way of Adonai. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God.
And who does that sound like?
The heretic John.
And what heresy do you find in those words, being that Isaiah said
The
them?
heresy is that John has appropriated Isaiah's words by taking a spiritual description of God in heaven and applying it to John's physical successor on earth.
Successor?
John said, after me comes he who is mightier than I, the strap of whose sandals I am not worthy to stoop down and untie.
And?
God has no body, he cannot wear sandals. God cannot take human form. To say so is blasphemy.
And where does it say that God cannot take human form?
In the scroll of Deuteronomy. You saw no face the day Adonai spoke to you at Horeb.
Just because they saw no form doesn't mean God cannot take one.
In Exodus, you cannot see my face, for no man shall see me and live. This person would have to walk around with his face covered.
So you would place limits on the Almighty?
None that are not written in law.
And if God did something that you felt contradicted the Torah, would you tell him to get back in that box that you have carved for him? Or would you question your interpretation of the Torah?
When I was a student, I knew all your sayings. I read every word you wrote. Your teachings were so sturdy, so reasoned and pure.
We are still students, Shmuel. All of us. Our understanding will never be complete.
It frightens me that I can no longer predict your rulings.
And fear alone ensures we remain ignorant, asleep in the safety of rigid tradition. Take the Sadducees. They take the first 5 books, the Law of Moses, as inspired scripture. The rest, they disregard. To them, God stopped speaking when Moses died. Think of all they have missed. The Psalms of David, the stories of Ruth and Boaz, Esther and Mordecai. I don't want to live in some bleak past where God cannot do anything new. Do you?
Why is that your concern? God gave us his law. We must uphold it.
We can do both. Let's look to the ancient roads where the good way is and walk in it, as Jeremiah said, and still keep our eyes open to the startling and the unexpected. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
You and I. We can lead the others in this.
Yusef runs in.
I beg your pardon, teacher of teachers.
What's happened?
A crowd has gathered on the east side to see a man preaching.
A Pharisee?
No, a common person. It's not John. Someone normal. He has commanded the attention of the entire area.
We will investigate.
Nicodemus looks to Shmuel, who nods. Outside Zebedee's house, the crowd grows.
So you think that because Pilate killed them, they must have been worse sinners than others?
I know Pilate wasn't doing it for that reason, but God must have been punishing them for something.
No, God does not see some as worse than others. All must repent or perish. You know of the tower in Siloam, which fell and killed the 18, yes?
Of course.
Do you think that they were worse than those who lived in Jerusalem? No. All must repent or perish.
Mary, Mara, and Salome are in the courtyard.
I'm out of pistachios, walnuts, bread, and water. Can you please go next door and ask Deborah for some bread to feed this crowd? Deborah's at the door.
They're already being fed.
Shula is still in the window.
What about prayer?
What about it, Shula?
I don't like to pray out loud because I feel embarrassed around the leaders who know how to do it so much better.
Big words don't matter. A lot of that's for show anyway. Don't worry about doing it in public. It's better to go into your room, shut the door, and pray to your Father, who sees you in secret. The same is true for giving to the needy. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
How could my right hand do something and my left hand not know?
I mean, give generously, without thinking about it. Do not do it for show, to impress others. Don't even congratulate yourself in private. Give in humility.
Outside, Tamar sees the crowd.
Come.
She motions others to approach, who are carrying a man on a litter. Meanwhile, Gaius is standing outside the tax collector's booth.
What was your last customer?
Matthew is behind the barred window.
Matthew. Hello?
I'm sorry, what?
How long has it been since you've had a customer?
I don't have customers.
When was your last citizen?
1 hour, perhaps 2.
Is there a Jewish holiday that I don't know about?
There are many you don't know about, Gaius.
Snap out of it.
A soldier approaches.
Marcus.
He motions for Gaius. Matthew watches as Gaius talks with him.
Matthew, close the booth and go home.
It's not time yet.
There's a situation. Lock up and get out of here.
What situation would require we abandon our post?
A mob in these slums.
I'm coming with you.
Excuse me?
I'm coming with you.
I said a mob of people. Matthew, I do not have time to protect you.
How do you think I survived the other 16 hours of the day?
I have no idea.
Which brings up a good point. All of you listening here, you're pretty decent people, yes? Pretty righteous? Kind of? Not bad? Let me tell you a story. There were 2 men that went up into the temple.
Excuse us.
One of
Please.
them was a Pharisee.
Tamar tries to make room through the crowd.
Other,
Shalom, good to see you.
Simon is also walking among them.
This is Jesus of Nazareth.
standing by himself, goes inside to the temple and he prays this prayer.
You okay?
Yes.
He's amazing, huh?
God, I thank you that I am not like other men.
Excuse me.
Extortion.
Excuse us.
Unjust.
Please.
Simon makes his way to Tamar.
Where are you going?
Please. We need to see Jesus.
There's no room up there.
He's paralyzed from the waist down. He can't stand.
There is definitely no room then.
Simon, he deserves to hear Jesus as much as anyone else.
Hello again. I'm so glad I found you. My friends, they're here.
Look, why do you need to get closer?
I saw what their master did to the leper. I know what I saw.
Andrew looks to Mary, who nods.
We're trying to keep that under wraps. For now. Look at this crowd. Imagine what we'd be
Please. Please. I'll take my friend to him.
Simon sees Gaius and Marcus.
Who's that company?
I talk to them. I talk to them.
Come with me.
Tamar and her friends follow Mary. Andrew goes to Gaius and Marcus.
Wake up, Brandon!
This is a peaceful gathering.
Anyway.
They're blocking the road.
I'll move them. They haven't been told where to stand yet.
Gaius and Marcus step closer to the crowd. Matthew hesitates, then steps closer also.
Because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice, so that she does not wear me out.
A man spits as Matthew passes him. Another man pushes him. Mary tries to move past the people in the crowd. She turns to Tamar.
I'm sorry, there's too many people.
But you know him. Can't you get us any closer?
I don't want to interrupt the teacher by causing a scene.
What if you were me?
Mary looks at the paralyzed man.
And you want your friends to make a scene?
It was you once.
Tamar looks up above the crowd.
What about the roof?
Mary looks at the roof, where fishing nets are draped over the side. She leads Tamar and her friends away. Matthew tries to peer through the crowd. Grapes are thrown at him.
I just wanted to hear the teacher teach.
Up here. It's okay. Come up.
Abigail and Joshua are sitting on the edge of a nearby roof.
How did you get up there?
We climbed the ladder. It's easy.
They have a plate of grapes between them. Matthew looks at the ladder and hesitates. He wipes the sides of the ladder with his napkin, then starts to climb up. He stops and wipes a rung as the children watch curiously.
Andy down here.
Suddenly, Matthew is pushed up from behind by Simon.
Oh, wow.
But we're busy, so.
Yep.
Where are your parents?
Abigail points toward the crowd.
I see, okay. Okay, well, the man speaking is called...
Jesus of Nazareth. We know him.
As Abigail pops a grape in her mouth, Joshua offers some to Matthew, who refuses.
Traitor.
Simon shakes his head with a smile and walks away. Matthew settles in beside Joshua to listen to Jesus.
How much more will he clothe all of you?
Nicodemus, Shmuel, and Yosef arrive. Shmuel walks up behind Barnaby.
Excuse me. Quiet. I'm trying to listen. Do you know who you are talking to? Did you hear his disrespect?
The Red Quarter? We're out of our element.
But we have to find out who is teaching. Forget this crowd.
All the more reason to be cautious.
Rabbi, it's her.
They see Mary on the roof with Tamar.
She is truly restored. I only heard your report, not seen her for myself. She's a different person.
Why?
The city on a hill cannot be hid. And if it were nighttime, Zebedee wouldn't light his lamp and put it under a basket. Put it on the stand where it could light us all.
Jesus of Nazareth!
Jesus looks to the opening in the ceiling where Salome sent the basket through.
I saw what you did to the leper on the road this morning.
Tamar's friends situate the paralyzed man closer to the opening.
My friend has been paralyzed since childhood. He has no hope but you. Please, do for him what you did for the leper.
One of the friends breaks a plank in the roof.
That's a rope!
Put it back, man!
They widen the opening.
You are willing, Rabbi. I know you can do this.
Tamar helps guide the man as her friends lower him on a rope through the opening. Zebedee and the others move a table to make room below.
Oh, wow.
Matthew and the children are staring mesmerized.
Now watch this, guys. This is really
As he
good.
stares ahead, Matthew absently reaches for the plate of grapes that Joshua is holding and takes one. The rope is slowly fed through a pulley as the man is lowered through the opening. The three Pharisees watch the crowd around them. Shmuel pushes his way through and Yosef follows. Nicodemus watches them go with a furrowed brow. Simon athletically climbs the ladder to where Matthew and the children are seated. He leans close to Matthew.
This is what you wanted. Get out your tablet at least.
Simon stands on the ledge beside Abigail. He calls over toward Zebedee's roof.
Hurry!
Is he in danger?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Is got room in there?
Yes.
Can you believe we're really here for this?
Yes.
Simon smiles widely. Meanwhile, Zebedee and Jesus' students help guide the paralyzed man as he descends lower and lower. He reaches the floor, and Tamar watches tensely through the opening in the roof.
You? By whose authority do you teach?
Jesus looks to Shmuel, who leans in a window with Yusef.
Answer me.
If you are willing, Rabbi, you know you can.
Hey, I'm talking to you. By whom do you teach? Certainly not the authority of any rabbi from Nazareth. Where did you study?
Your faith is beautiful.
Jesus turns from Tamar to her paralyzed friend.
Son, take heart. Your sins are forgiven.
The man smiles, and Jesus looks at Shmuel, who watches with wide eyes.
Who is this who speaks blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God alone? Right. But I ask you, which is easier to say? Your sins are forgiven, or rise up and walk? It's easy to say anything, no? But to show you, and so that you may know that the Son of Man has the authority on earth to forgive sins.
Jesus crouches before the paralyzed man.
I say to you, my son, rise. Pick up your bed and go home.
The man looks at his bare feet. He wiggles his toes slightly and smiles. Shmuel and Yosef continue to look on. The man starts to push himself up. James and John help him. Tamar covers her mouth as her friend stands.
Easy does it.
Zebedee and James exchange looks. The healed man is face to face with Jesus. He sobs and lets himself fall into Jesus' embrace. With his mouth hanging open, Yusef looks at Shmuel. Outside, a slight smile forms on Nicodemus' face. Tamar closes her eyes, then opens them to the heavens. The children cheer, and Matthew is reserved as he smiles with his open notebook. Tearfully, the healed man meets Jesus' gaze.
Now go on.
The man walks toward the door where the crowd is watching. Zebedee and his sons are smiling as they watch him go. The people in the crowd make way for the man to pass, patting him on the back as he walks slowly by. Jesus looks up through the opening at Tamar, who gives him a tearful smile and a wave. She steps away. Shmuel turns away from the window.
Roman guards! Return to the public peace!
Gaius and Marcus draw their swords as they hurry toward the house. Simon bursts in the door.
Teacher, this way.
Jesus and the other students follow him out. Zebedee closes the door. In the melee outside, Nicodemus calmly watches the healed man walking. They make eye contact, and the man smiles tearfully as he passes. Gaius bangs on Zebedee's door. Mary hurries down from the roof.
Mary, wait. I saw a paralytic walk past me on his 2 feet.
You asked me before if I knew his name. Now everyone knows his name. And I fear for his safety.
I mean no trouble to him. No dishonor.
Your friends tried to have him arrested.
They're jealous. They're afraid. But I'm not. I promise. Mary, please. I need to talk to him.
I follow him, not the other way around. He doesn't tell anyone his plans.
Will you ask him for a meeting in secret, under cover of night, at a place of his choosing? I don't care if it's a ravine or a cave or even a tomb, but I just need to speak to him. Please, Mary.
I want y'all to understand why he is so bound to talk to him and why he is so surprised in seeing Jesus' actions. So, Brandon, explain to them who this guy is.
Nicodemus is a Pharisee, and he's very troubled, actually.
Well, he's a teacher.
He wants to believe.
He's a teacher too.
Yes, he is a teacher, but he's very troubled. He wants to believe that Jesus is who he says he is, but he also doesn't want to go against the laws of the Old Testament and Moses.
Well, and the thing is, though, people will listen to him, though. That's the other thing to think about. It's not like, he could easily say, Jesus Christ, this, and this, but then he would still have a number of people angry with him because it would be going against.
Absolutely, it'd be going against
what the Old Testament says.
Absolutely.
So, but at the same time, I don't want to answer on this. I want y'all to think about this. Is he being selfish? Or is he being protective? Because he knows what he saw, right? He knows what Jesus Christ has done. And he knows that that's not just a made up act.
I think he's conflicted in his heart.
He's conflicted in his heart, and he's conflicted between his people. Now, what y'all think about that?
I'll try.
She walks away. Matthew climbs down the ladder from the nearby roof. The children remain seated on the ledge above. Abigail looks down at him.
Are you lost?
Yes, I am.
Inside, Salome opens the door to Gaius.
¿Pero problem, officer?
She smiles at him sweetly. He peers through the empty house and sees that the back door is open. Meanwhile, Matthew rounds a corner and sees Jesus and his students. They start to go through a doorway, but Jesus stops with his back toward Matthew. He turns and looks toward him. Matthew meets his gaze. Jesus offers a hint of a smile, then turns and goes through the doorway with John and Simon behind him. With a frown, Matthew cranes his neck to see them go. The Chosen.
All right, so
created by Dallas.
We are going to do one more, folks. It is this next one. I don't think is going to be as long. I think it's about 35-40 minutes, if that. So but I want you all to think about, you're going to see what happens more with, I keep forgetting his name,
Nicodemus.
You're going to see a lot more with Nicodemus throughout the rest of this season and even the next season, but I kind of have a 50-50 take on this guy. Like, I feel like he's put in a very you got to realize that you got to understand the authority that Nicodemus has.
I think he was politically put in a bad spot because like he wants.
Yeah, he was politically corrupted, is what he was.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, Nicodemus, if he would have just accepted it 100%, Jesus Christ, I believe in that time, Jesus Christ would have protected him.
Oh yeah, he would have.
But we're also missing something here, though. But I don't want to say nothing. I want y'all to think about this. Think about what Nicodemus, who he is. Some of you might already know even more just from reading the Bible, right? You know, I sit there and say, oh, well, if he'd done this and done that, but you're missing something. All this was for a reason. All this was God's path. God knew everything that Jesus Christ was going to be facing in the flesh. You got to think about that too. Did all this happen because of people needing to be the way they was, or was there a bigger picture here? Jesus Christ didn't go through anything that God didn't have planned. Just like Jesus Christ being sacrificed on the cross. Do you not remember, not even in this story, but Jesus Christ, if it wasn't meant to be, do you think he would have hung on that cross? No. Jesus Christ hung on that cross for us. Think about it, you guys. Jesus Christ can do anything that anything. There's nothing he can't do. So, why else would he allow himself to be sacrificed? It was all part of his plan. We had to be taught, and years ago is when our teaching started. Now, we'll touch more on this. I would like to get Casey in when I start digging deeper into that topic there, but
we got to get him back on at some point.
But you understand what I'm saying? God didn't.
Yeah.
This didn't happen to God because he just, he wasn't lucky enough to get away. If God, do you think for 1 second if God wanted to be caught that he would have got caught, or wouldn't have got caught? If God didn't want Jesus to be caught, would he have got caught?
Nope.
Exactly. When Jesus Christ was sacrificed on the cross, okay, when he was on the cross, yes, it was a painful and cruel thing to do. But it was only the flesh. It wasn't Jesus. It wasn't. No matter what they did, they couldn't hurt him. That's why he bled for us. Because he was going to get He was going to get through it no matter what, right? So, okay, the reason I try to do two usually, you guys, is because we got a lot more to catch up on, and I'm going to try to get caught up before the third season comes available. Why did it not? Okay, here we go. Oh, you stupid thing. Come on. Okay, we're on
7.
Invitations. Now, do you guys see why it was titled Indescribable Compassion? Do y'all understand that? Brandon, you understand that?
Yeah, I do.
Alright, invitations. Here we go. Let's...
Angel Studios. Sinai Peninsula, 13th century BC. In a tent, sweat glistens through the soot on a bearded man's face. He is working a long, curved piece of metal in a fire. A younger man enters. He watches the man turn the piece in the fire.
Joshua, how many more in the night?
Some 300, sir.
Where will you bury them?
Men are trying to dig a trench, but the ground is hard and rough. With respect, Moses, my concern is not for the dead, but for the dying. Hundreds fall by the day, and for every serpent we kill, another 10 appear.
Maybe we should leave the bodies here, in this tent.
At the rate people are dying, there would not be enough room, even if we stack them to the top.
Then we'll have to leave and find someplace else.
Not leaving anytime soon. Too many people are sick and cannot walk.
After today, the only Hebrews too sick to walk will be those who choose to remain so.
Moses hammers the piece.
Is there medicine in that bronze? You told the people that you would ask God to forgive their rebellion, to heal their serpent wounds.
I did.
Then why are you hiding in a tent?
It wasn't my idea, Joshua!
Moses comes at Joshua, and Joshua points to the metalwork.
That is a pagan symbol. You did not ask him if he was sure? Maybe you misunderstood him.
I've learned to do what he says, without questioning. You remember what happened at Meribah.
Moses turns back to his work.
Just to be sure. You could send a messenger to Ezion Gate or beg for aid.
That pole. Hand me that pole.
Joshua picks up a wooden pole with a crossbar attached toward the top of it. Moses takes his forged bronze serpent and hooks its curved body on the pole at the crossbar. The remainder of the serpent curves along the length of the pole. He steps back while Joshua holds it upright.
The people will say it is a cruel joke.
Let them say that.
Help me understand. None of this makes any sense.
How do you explain the Red Sea? The manna in the coil? The pillar of fire? Joshua, any Israelite who looks upon this bronze serpent and believes in the power of Adonai will be healed. It's an act of faith, not reason. Faith.
Moses walks out. VidAngel Studios presents a Loaves and Fishes production. Across a black background,
I love that
simple
music.
gray fish symbols swim across the screen. A single fish moves in the opposite direction from all the others. A second fish joins the first, swimming against the others. More and more fish follow the ones moving in the opposite direction. The leaves on a tree sway in a breeze over a large home. Inside, Matthew is getting dressed. He opens his wardrobe and looks at 2 robes hanging inside. He repeatedly looks from one to the other. Shortly after, he is putting one on. He picks up a ring from a side table, looks at it closely, then slips it onto his pinky. He sways back and forth as he dabs oil on his wrists and neck. He starts to walk away, then checks the fruit in a bowl on the table. He looks at the fruit with concentration and gently touches a grape before walking away. He puts on a pair of sandals that sit in a neat row with his other identical pairs. He steps outside his heavy, ornate door. He pulls it closed, then turns the key 3 times. In the street, Gaius is waiting.
Gaius, why are you here?
I'm escorting you.
Because you feel indebted for your promotion.
You're complaining about safely walking the street?
I didn't help Quintus for you.
Oh, I know. You couldn't help yourself.
I spoke up because I was right.
You got lucky.
Luck doesn't exist.
So you knew Quintus would not kill you.
He was smart to go after the fishermen. But he must have been desperate to enlist Simon.
I don't buy it. You were terrified.
Guys, what if you were suddenly the only Roman in Capernaum?
I think I'd change clothes.
Exactly. When you realize that nobody else in the world cares what happens to you, you think only about yourself.
For a fool, your brain has taken you far. I admit it.
I thought so, too.
At home, Nicodemus is sitting while his knee bounces and he fidgets. He stands and looks at sand running through an hourglass. Zahara enters.
Praise Adonai, he is healthy and alive.
What are you talking
I
about?
received word from Jerusalem. Havela gave birth to a son. You are grandfather again.
So soon?
A month early, but all is well. Oh, blessed be he. We'll have the rest of our things sent.
No. My research here is not completed.
But we have to make it back in time for the bris. We have only 8 days, less than 8.
Circumcision can be performed by any number of people, Zohara.
Nico, it's your own grandson.
Grandson. Avila will understand.
Do you know what people will say when they learn that the great Nicodemus missed his own grandson's name day because he was doing research in Capernaum of all places?
Research that concerns not just one Jewish boy, but all of Israel, past, present, and future.
There is nothing in Capernaum but demoniacs and insolent schoolboys. Come to your senses.
I have never been closer to my senses.
That is not how it looks from the outside.
Many things are not.
I am ready to leave this place, Nico. I miss my children and my grandchildren, including the one I haven't even met yet.
Oh, Zahara, please. You can't just barge.
Oh, I believe I can.
Quintus enters.
To Quintus.
Zahara, is it? Pleasure to see you again.
She has pulled a veil over her hair.
I trust all is well.
Why would you trust that?
Quintus helps himself to a seat at a table.
Yes, please do make yourself at home.
He looks around the room.
We really will have to discuss the people's tithing.
This is why you have come?
He's taken off his metal brush helmet.
I need to know if we have a problem, Nicodemus.
I have complied with every request Rome has made to my office, even when it infringed on custom.
Let me rephrase. You and I want the same thing. We want rules followed. We want order. Soldiers, money, votes. That's my world. Demons, prayers, oddballs. That's yours. I need to know if our worlds are on collision course. The so-called miracle workers?
Nicodemus sits across the table from him.
Jesus of Nazareth.
Don't even know what Nazareth is, but yes. Him.
Anecdotes and rumors.
And a stampede in the eastern ghetto that delayed Herod's envoy. That really made me look bad. I hate that.
The unrest began when your soldiers waded into the crowd brandishing weapons.
It isn't an isolated event. I've heard reports. My source has an unwavering knack for accuracy and a compulsion for the truth. So again, I ask you, is there a problem?
No.
You don't seem sure. Maybe I could get better information from this Shmuel. He's very eager to see me.
The only way to learn this preacher's intentions is to speak with him directly.
So speak to him.
Quintus picks up his helmet and stands.
I hate crowds. They take time and resources, and then cleanup is a pain. When you arrange a private meeting, I want to know when and where. Understand?
What troubles you about this man?
Preachers have a habit of becoming politicians. They sprout up like weeds and spread. You know, wife is a gardener. She understands.
Some flora spread their seeds when trampled. Who's to say you wouldn't be creating a martyr?
He takes a few steps closer to Nicodemus.
I'll take my chances.
He walks out.
You sympathize with this preacher.
At their campsite in the woods, Thaddeus is preparing kindling. John and Jesus are setting up a tent, and young James is sharpening the end of a pole. John looks around.
Will we be safe here?
What do you mean, safe?
They'll be looking for us because of what you said about forgiving sins.
We won't be here very long. After what happened yesterday, we'll keep moving from town to town.
Is that what you want?
What do you mean?
To roam about, not be able to stay in one place?
I want to do the will of my Father. And I want to spread the message of salvation. So yes, I am happy to not stay in one place.
Rabbi,
Yes, Dad.
I should prepare firewood for how many days?
5, I think.
Thought you said that we wouldn't be here very long.
Leaving some for the next weary traveler. Hospitality isn't only for people who own homes, John.
John smiles slightly.
Mary?
Are you all right?
Yes, thank you. May I speak with you, Rabbi?
Yes, of course.
Jesus turns to John.
Keep going.
He goes to Mary.
I wanted to apologize for yesterday.
For what?
I was trying to help those people get closer to the sound of your voice. I had no idea they would open the roof and disrupt your teaching. I'm truly...
So you regret that a paralytic is enjoying his first full day on his own feet, huh?
No. Just that I caused a scene and cut short your teaching.
Who's to say it was cut short? With their faith, they would have found a way whether you brought them to the roof or not.
Oh, there's more. When we were leaving, a Pharisee stopped me and asked for a private meeting with you. I told him I would ask.
A Pharisee? Do you know this man?
He visited me before.
A Pharisee in the Red Quarter.
Rome sent him. I doubt he wanted to be there.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Well, I saw him again after I was better, and he wanted to know how I was healed. Of course, I didn't tell him who you were, but he seemed...
What?
Earnest. He wasn't offended to learn that someone else had succeeded, but he had failed. That there's a hunger in his eyes, not fear.
Not like the Pharisees at the window yesterday, huh?
I am sorry to have brought all this on you.
No, no. No, there was a reason you met this Pharisee.
Nicodemus.
Nicodemus, of course. I've heard of him.
I don't know who is known and who is not. This is all new to me.
Don't worry about which men others think are important. Send word to Nicodemus. I will meet with him. Little James will know the location. Thank you, Mary.
Yes, teacher.
He starts to leave.
Where are you going?
To be alone. I need to think. To pray.
I will pray also. That I did not put you in terrible danger.
You have not. In fact, I have made plans already tomorrow night.
Plans?
Yes, spread the word. A dinner party in the northern district. A tall house just past the arch.
That row of homes.
I know the kind of people who live there. Trust me.
He walks away.
I will tell the others.
In Capernaum, Matthew's dog is beside him as he knocks on the door of a simple home. He paces a few steps back and forth, then knocks again. A woman peeks out. Matthew. She opens the door wider.
Hello, Ima. Or Elisheva, I mean. Hello.
She stares at him. He fidgets and avoids her gaze.
I don't receive visitors myself. Is this a custom?
If your father were here, I couldn't do this.
Where is Alpheus?
Don't follow him.
His black dog pants behind him.
He's with me. He'll stay out here if you let me in.
She nods. He enters, leaving the dog outside. Shortly after, Matthew sips from a cup. He is sitting across a small table from his mother.
Will Alpheus be home soon?
He's away. On a work trip.
Where will work take him? Does he no longer make leather goods?
His shop was robbed. Many of the shops have been. Crime is rampant, makes it very difficult to reopen.
He loved his shop.
She nods.
But we still have a roof over our head, which is more than some people can say.
You can ask me for money if you ever need it.
How can you say that?
It's quite common. I've seen many parents entirely dependent on...
Your father would sooner die than take your blood money.
I know you are ashamed of me, but your decision is irrational. Rome will continue to collect taxes no matter what. I'm skilled with numbers.
Did you come here to justify yourself?
No!
He stands and paces.
Everything's like sand. And they flood. The things I thought I knew to be true.
Are you in trouble?
Do you think that impossible things can happen? That overturn the laws of nature? That cannot be explained.
She smiles.
That is what people asked when you were a boy. Even the rabbis were astonished at your talent for reading, math, the way you could think faster than any other child. They thought you would be someone great.
Great at what? I'm rich. I have an armed escort. I'm trusted by the praetor of
We
Galilee.
never dreamed you would use the talent God gave you to bleed your people dry.
But have you ever seen anything miraculous?
Matthew.
My whole world. Everything I thought I knew.
His fist is around a napkin.
What if it's wrong?
She keeps her eyes lowered.
I think you should go.
Matthew sways back and forth. He looks around and fidgets. His mother avoids looking at him as he grabs his satchel and places the strap across his shoulders. He walks to the door.
You never even asked about your sister.
She looks well. I came to celebrate Shabbat a few weeks ago. Then I left. Goodbye, Ima.
He walks out and she cries. Elsewhere, a blade scrapes the scales from a fish. Jesus is doing the work. Beside him, Eden is chopping. Simon is in the room.
No, I'm not sure this is a good idea.
Why not?
Well, could be a trap. Nicodemus cooperates with Rome. They're the ones who sent him to Mary when she was possessed in the Red Quarter.
I'm well acquainted with risks, Simon. So are you, if I remember our first meeting correctly. Huh?
Risk is his oldest friend, I'm afraid.
Simon.
Mary is an excellent judge of character.
She has known some of the worst kinds of men in this world, and she finds him earnest. You should trust her instincts. And mine.
Andrew enters.
Rabbi, I've got it.
Let's take a look.
Jesus goes to him, and Simon leans close to Eden.
Can you keep her quiet, please? No one needs to know you're sick.
Tell her not to cough, Simon.
I just don't want our burdens to become his, okay? I don't want to be the one to distract him.
He's made up his mind about you. He's not going to kick you out of the group.
It's perfect. Well done. Well, I think I can fit all of you in here with me, huh?
Andrew has helped Jesus on with a black cloak. He pulls up the hood.
You won't be recognized in that.
Has the owner of the house given permission?
It's all arranged, Rabbi. And I'll be waiting at the door.
Thank you, Andrew. You go on ahead, but remember to relax. You are there to guide our guest, not to be my protector.
Andrew nods and walks out.
Are you sure you don't want me to come? The more eyes watching the streets for trouble, the better.
Not tonight, Simon. Stay here with your wife and your mother-in-law.
Jesus follows Andrew out. Eden goes to Simon.
You see?
Shortly after, Nicodemus walks through a doorway. He is holding a staff and wearing a black cloak. Andrew greets him.
Welcome, Nicodemus.
Andrew takes his staff.
Don't be alarmed. He's waiting for you.
He directs Nicodemus up a set of stairs and follows him up. He leads him to a rooftop where Jesus is looking over the edge. Andrew takes Nicodemus's cloak and walks out. Jesus turns to face Nicodemus.
I asked the owner of this house for more lanterns, but he said they would draw attention.
Yes, I imagined they would.
The human eye is drawn to light. Can't help it, it just happens.
There are many things we are drawn to without our thinking or our ability to explain why. Thank you for agreeing to meet.
Thank you for trying to help Mary when you did.
It was no help.
You were meant to be there.
Me? So I could fail miserably at an exorcism in the Red Quarter?
If you had not been there that day, would you be on this roof tonight?
I don't know where to start. I have so many questions.
Shall we sit first?
Oh, yes, of course.
Jesus takes off his own. They sit at a table under a hanging lantern. Another lamp is burning on the table.
The eastern slums. Many wandering preachers have succeeded in gathering crowds with their rhetoric and fiery tone.
I've heard a few of them over the years myself.
So you know the type. But I have never heard anyone tell a paralytic to get up and walk, much less it actually happened.
So what is your conclusion?
I believe you are not acting alone. No one can do these signs you do without having God in him. Only someone who has come from God.
And how is that belief going over in the synagogue? Which is why we are here at this hour. What else?
What have you come here to show us?
A kingdom.
That is what our rulers are worried about.
No, not that kind.
Then what?
A sort of kingdom that a person cannot see unless he is born again.
Born again?
Yes.
You mean like a new creature? A conversion from Gentile to Jewish?
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Then what is born again? I hope you don't mean return to the womb, because that would be a problem for me. My mother, may she rest in peace, is dead.
Truly, I say to you,
Unless one is born of water and the Spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. That part of you, that is what must be reborn to new life.
How can these things be?
A teacher of Israel, and yet you do not understand these things.
I'm trying, Rabbi.
I know. I know. Do you hear this?
What?
Listen. What do you hear?
The wind?
How do you know it's the wind?
Because I can feel it. I hear it sound.
Do you know where it comes from?
No.
Do you know where it's going?
No.
That's what it is to be born again of the Spirit. The Spirit may work in a way that is a mystery to you. And while you cannot see the Spirit, you can recognize his effect.
Mind is consumed with thoughts of what a stir these words would cause among the teachers of the law.
Yes. And I do not expect otherwise. I speak of what I know and have seen, and it has not been received by the religious leaders.
It is hard to receive.
So if I have told you of earthly things, and you do not believe, how can I tell you heavenly things?
I believe your words. I just fear you may not have a chance to speak many more of them before you are silenced.
I have come to do more than speak words, Nicodemus.
More miracles.
Yes. But even more than that. Do you remember when the children of Israel complained against God and against Moses in the wilderness of Paran?
Yes. They wanted to return to Egypt and they cursed the manna that God sent them.
And then?
They were bitten by serpents and they were dying.
But
God made a way for them to be healed.
Moses lifted the bronze serpent in the desert, and people only needed to look at it. So will the Son of Man be lifted up, so that whoever believes in him may have eternal life.
Our people are not dying from snake bites. They're dying from taxation and oppression.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I did not come to deliver the people from Rome.
Then from what?
From sin. From spiritual death. God loves the world in this way, that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life.
So this has nothing to do with Rome. It's all about sin.
God did not send his Son into the world to condemn it, Nicodemus. He sent him to save it through him. It's as simple as Moses' serpent on the pole. Whoever believes in him will not be condemned, but whoever does not believe stands condemned already. Have you ever heard anything like this before?
Andrew and John are listening.
When I met Lilith, Mary, that day, I told my wife and my students that she was beyond human aid. Only God could have healed her. And then I saw her healed. And here you are. The healer. My whole life I have wondered if I would see this day.
Follow me, and you'll see more.
Follow you?
Join me and my students.
Now, just real quick. He believes in who this is, guys. There's no doubt he's completely distraught. Okay? So think about just think about all that as you go further through The Chosen. And you'll see all the things that... Now, granted, I'm not saying he should have ever done the things he's done. Some of the choices he's made. But just think about that. Here we go.
In 2 days' time, we leave Capernaum. Come see the kingdom I am bringing into this world. But you have a position in the Sanhedrin. You have family. You are getting advanced in years. I understand. But the invitation is still open.
Invitation to what exactly? To lead a nomadic life, to give up who I am?
It's true. There is a lot you would give up. But what you would gain is far greater and more lasting.
Is this another one of your born-again mysteries?
Maybe. I know mysteries aren't easy for a scholar. Think about it. Take your time. On the morning of the 5th day, we leave, and we'll meet by the well in the southern quarter at dawn.
Both men stand.
Is the kingdom of God really coming?
What does your heart tell you?
My heart is swollen with fear and wonder. It can tell me nothing except that I am standing on holy ground.
Nicodemus covers his mouth as he sobs.
Holy roof and
Both men laugh.
I do hope you come with us, Nicodemus.
Slowly, Nicodemus lowers to his knees.
You don't have to do that.
He takes Jesus' hand and kisses it.
What are you doing?
Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish in the way.
Jesus takes his arm and guides him up.
Blessed are all who take refuge in him.
Jesus wraps his arms around him, and Nicodemus resumes his sobbing. They hold their embrace while the lamp flames flicker. In the morning, the rising sun creates an orange sky. Matthew is at the tax booth window, and Gaius is standing guard outside.
You see the Parthian foot races last night? Darius ran like a gazelle.
Jews don't go to foot races.
Your old friend Simon himself used to run the wagering tables.
We're not friends. Next.
Okay, fine. So you did not go to the races? You stay home?
I went to see my mother.
Ugh, that would put me out, too. She asked when you're going to give her grandchildren?
She didn't ask.
I thought your parents don't speak to you.
I had questions I couldn't ask anyone else.
The mother of a son with talent like yours should be proud.
She's ashamed that I could use the talent that God gave me against God. Next.
You're good at something. You found a way to make a living doing it. It's that simple.
Must be nice to live in a world so simply ordered.
We live in the same world, Matthew.
Next.
Besides, what else are you going to do with a mind like yours?
Matthew notices Jesus looking at him as he walks past. Gaius watches, and Jesus keeps walking with his students. Jesus stops and turns around.
Matthew!
Gaius puts his hand on the hilt of his sword. Simon and the other students stop to watch the interaction.
Matthew, son of Alphaeus!
Mary Magdalene watches with a smile.
Yes?
Follow me.
Me?
Yes, you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you doing? You want me to join you?
Keep moving, street preacher.
Do you have any idea what this guy's done? Do you even know him?
Yes.
Matthew steps away from the window and goes to the door.
Listen, I said to...
Gaius watches him lock the door.
What are you doing?
He grabs Matthew by the collar.
Where do you think you're going, Gaius? Let me go.
Gaius lets go of him.
Have you lost your mind? You have money. Quintus protects you. No Jew lives as good as you. You're gonna throw it all away. Yes.
Matthew holds up the key to the booth. Gaius takes it. Matthew takes off his pinky ring and gives it to him.
I don't get it.
You didn't get it when I chose you either.
But this is different. I'm not a tax collector.
Get used to different.
Matthew walks to Jesus.
I'm glad we passed by your booth today, Matthew.
Yes.
The other students stare at them.
Shall we? We have a celebration to prepare for.
You will regret this, Matthew.
What's the tablet for?
I grabbed it without thinking. You can put it back.
No, keep it. You may yet find use for it.
Where are we going?
A dinner party.
I'm not welcome at dinner parties.
Well, that's not going to be a problem tonight. You're the host.
Wow.
Fades to black. The
Good
Chosen.
stuff. I told you that one that wasn't that long.
That's a good way to
Created
end
by
it.
Dallas Jenkins. Produced in association with Out of Order Studios.
I mean,
Narrative
what better
script
way to
written
end
by
something but
Beth
do it
Shaw
on a
for the Emmy
cliffhanger?
Award-winning Narrative Television Network.
Alright, let me... Well, there you go. That was 2 sessions we did tonight. And I want to talk real quick about this last person that's joining the following Jesus. Brandon, what was his name?
Nicodemus. Or Matthew.
I was going to say, what? Yeah, Matthew. Now, Matthew, the reason the other guy was like, you're not going. And then he told him, if you go, you're going to regret this. Because Matthew was responsible of going around collecting payments.
Taxes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even call it taxes because they had him collect money, and if money wasn't good enough, he had to collect, like, I don't know. It was just a bad position for Matthew. So, while Matthew's doing all this, he's starting to get more interest in who is this Jesus character. And the more that he was able to see what he was doing, listen to him talk, the more he realized that's Jesus Christ. So then today, Matthew, follow me. So Matthew's like, yeah, I'm going. I don't care what anybody says. I'm following the one and almighty, Jesus Christ. What are you going to do? What are you going to do if I follow him? Nothing.
Exactly.
And it kind of represents what we deal with today, right? There's so many of us that do follow Christ, and the ones that don't, there's some that place judgment on those that do, right? And that's exactly what is happening with Matthew here. This guy didn't want him going, threatened him. And so, as you guys listen to these, you're going to learn how you can put it together. How you can take whatever part of it is that you're watching and add it up to right now. Right here, right now. Just like I did. Because today, there's many of us that believe in Christ. There's others that don't at this time. And some of them give us a hard time. Some people won't even talk about their beliefs because of it. Because they're worried about what might happen or what might get said. Me, I don't care. I believe in...
Or if you try to talk about it to other people, they'll run away.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes. And I don't care. I believe in Jesus Christ. I follow him. I read the Bible. I believe in Jesus Christ returning here on earth. I believe all that. And, you know, it's sad that people do judge it. But if they do, all we can do is pray for them, not wish nothing bad on them, not think negative of them. We just need to pray for them and hope that they can find Jesus at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So, while we were doing that, I was getting my flight plan set up. We're not flying on Pilot's Life for a few days. I want to quit that job I got, and I can't. You got to have a job for 7 days before you can switch to another one. And I don't like the one I'm on because it's just constantly back and forth from Cincinnati to. I don't mind the San Antonio part. That's not a bad airport, but
Yeah. Hey, Google. Stop bedroom display.
I like options, you know. So the flight we're going to be doing tonight, now I'm going to disconnect. Actually, I'm just going to edit the title through here if I can. The flight we're going to do tonight is going to be from PHX to MIA. So Phoenix,
Okay.
Arizona to Miami, Florida.
Stop bedroom display. That's a pretty decent little flight.
Guys, I want to get it's 1,700 miles. I want to get a hold of Casey. I'm going to try to get home tomorrow and see if I can get him on for Thursday night.
Okay. Oh, I got a small update before we go from our Bible study about our church fundraiser.
Yeah, how's that going?
So I was looking at a photo they posted while we were watching that, and they've got 17% of it done. 58 of the envelopes are turned in. 43 are outstanding still, but so far they've raised $6,809 out of $40,000 they're wanting to raise.
That is wonderful. Now, what is this fund going to?
It's basically going to grow the church and basically getting more chairs and to different events we're going to do.
I mean, chairs don't
Things
cost
like that.
Chairs don't cost $40,000, so there's got to be some big projects
Some of
involved.
these chairs do. But I mean, it's not just for chairs. It's like for different events that we're doing and stuff like that too.
Mhm. I figured for that much, maybe they're doing some remodeling or. Of course,
Yeah, I
you got to
think that's part
figure
of it,
there's
actually.
also taxes and stuff that have to be paid every year. That could be
Right.
in there, and then all the other expenses that have to be paid.
Yep.
That's good, man. Just just keep praying for it, and
Yep.
I think it'll work out.
March 18th is the deadline, so I'm sure they'll make it by that point.
What are they doing to raise the money?
People are taking envelopes and they're going out and trying to get donations from other people and businesses and stuff.
You mean like where people, what's it called? You know how like sometimes you'll get an envelope from like the city where you donate money to the sheriffs and stuff like that. Is that kind of how they're doing
Yeah.
it? Where it's like a what do they call it?
Non-denomination.
Basically, it's like a promise to pay type of note that hey, we're going to donate this much, and then they give you the envelope and you fill it out and then you send it back with your donation.
I believe that's how it is. You'd have to ask Casey about it because he knows more about it than I do.
Sure.
But I believe that's how he's doing it.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Well, didn't you say he's wanting to get all the other stuff up and running too? The goat carts and
Yeah, that too.
so because I'm guessing that property has a track that they can ride on. Those to ride on.
It does. It actually has a go-kart track.
Is it like a pavement track or is it a dirt track?
Yeah, it's pavement. It's pavement.
That's very cool. Very cool. That would raise money alone if people come and paid to ride the go-karts. I mean,
Well, but the problem is right now they're not fixed.
no, but if they got enough funds, I would fix them and then have like packages like $10 for an hour or $30 for 2 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
That would bring money constantly in on autopilot.
You can talk to Casey about that and see what he thinks.
Yeah, I'd suggest that to him. I mean, I would bet he's already thought about this unless they need a
I
lot
bet he
of
has
work.
too. Yeah.
But it's it's hard to say. Hard to say.
Yep. I would love to have him on Thursday if we can get him on.
Yeah, I'm gonna really try to push to get him on if we can. I'm gonna see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I tried to do. I was doing a flight earlier. I had to basically, instead of losing the whole flight, basically what I do when the plane starts messing up like that, instead of ending, I'll go into my CDU. I'll go to code. I'll go to the code and dark GPU setting, and I'll hit it right in the middle of the air, and then I'll just move my plane to the gate of that airport I was flying to. That way, a pilot's life still gives me my flight.
Dude, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
And it worked because I'm like, I'm not doing it over.
It works.
Yeah, I don't. For some reason, the one program, not FS 2020, but the other program we used to fly with a long time ago because I have it on my computer.
Tramp.
No, the other program that would fly the planes for you, GSX or whatever it's called.
Oh, FSX Pilot.
FSX Pilot, some reason started, and I think it might have changed. I don't know what happened, but I couldn't do descent or nothing. It wouldn't.
Oh.
But,
oh no!
But I mean, that popped up and I just closed it, so I don't know 100% that's what did it or not because I didn't actually use it or let it be used, but it might have changed some settings in the airplane. Who knows? I don't know, but.
I got to get with Casey anyway. I want to go and have lunch with him whenever he's not busy one day.
It's probably hard to do with him being a.
It is. It is.
Business owner.
That's why I haven't really asked him because he's always constantly on the go.
Yeah, I could imagine. So, I wonder if it'll let me. Instead of having to completely start over. I don't know if it will.
I was wondering what you were typing over there when we were watching The Chosen earlier. I was like, what is he typing?
Yeah, I was working on some flight plans.
I figured you were.
Let me see. Edit title.
You gonna have the tour guide on this flight so that
this
tune in and listen to
this one's longer, so probably so because it's a longer flight.
Okay. I actually enjoy tuning in and listening to the tour guide on these longer flights.
It says update all. Let's see if it did it.
Let me check. I'll check. I'll tell you. Yep. You got it. Come fly with me from Miami to Phoenix.
Perfect. That's what I'm talking
sir.
about. Let me see. I think I've already got it. Let me see. Let me close that real quick. Hold on. Okay, open that.
Who's your co-pilot? I like him.
He don't do a very good job. I don't like him.
Really?
It did not change the title on the TikTok side for some reason. Hold on. Yeah, it did. It says it did. Okay. Okay.
Definitely changed it on YouTube because I just saw it.
Yeah, we're good. Let me see something here. Oh, that don't. Okay. I wish it, which I've got the client now on TikTok and it works fine.
Yeah.
But I wish they would do like they do with the YouTube, where when someone chats, it just goes through the restream. But for some reason, they don't, and I don't know why they don't, because there is an API and stuff. It'd be easy to do. They just don't do it.
I agree.
And there's no bonus to not doing it, so it don't really. Let me go here a second, and then. Testing. We are ready to fly.
Computer. Open Night Manager.
See, I've had the client open this whole time, and I sent a message through it, and Sappy still reads it, so it don't time out or nothing anymore.
Nice.
Yeah. So, alright, so
Options menu.
I'm still going to have to.
Pop-up window. Warning. This will return.
Hold on. When I get done, Brandon, I'll tell you right before I get ready to go flying. Then you can log off. I got to get the airplane there and stuff first, so we can chat for a few minutes while I'm doing that.
Okay. Switch Dark Forest.
Loading, please wait. 23%.
I don't understand.
Welcome menu. Page 1 of 3.
I loaded Night Manager today, and I went to go in the forest, and it's for some reason it's got me back down to like level 2. I don't understand that. Do you lose levels if you don't play enough?
No, Forrest. Not that I know of. You shouldn't be losing levels. I might ask about that.
It would not let me go into forest. Said I had to be level 5. Yeah.
Oh.
Would not let me
Hang
go.
on. Have you played since the season started on the 1st?
Oh no, not the new one. No. And
Okay,
dude,
that's why.
the new one freaking. I went to battle. Might as well hang that up. I got slaughtered, dude, in my first battle. The guy had like magic powers, and when I attacked him, it was a mirror image, and it shattered, and then he got me in the back.
Yep.
Peckerwood.
Friends.
That happens when you first start playing. You're gonna lose battles because you gotta up your stats.
Yeah, well,
it's kind of annoying.
I'll show them who wins when they come in my courtroom. We'll see who gets stabbed in the back then. Suckers. Alright, so we're going KPHX.
KPHX/Phoenix. Select departure. KPH. Switch departure. Select arrival.
And then
Search
KMIA.
KMIA/Miami.
And I still fly with my FS Airlines, guys. I like the management system. Some people don't use it, but I do.
Select KMIA Miami INTL
Miami. It makes you. The reason I like it is because
or select switch to KPHX Phoenix Sky Harbor INTL
you
selection and cut KPHX Phoenix runway 26. Drop down list.
You got to be honest about yourself. Like you can't sit there and fly a plane.
Runway 26.
And then have a horrible landing and be like, oh, no big deal. I'm just in the sim. No.
25L7.
That's why I like to use it, because it keeps pilots in the sim.
7R7700.
It keeps them, flying realistic.
Gate/parking.
I think our community, unfortunately, alone has become really lazy about flights and if it crashes, it crashes. That's no big deal.
Not if you're flying on BBI Virtual.
Gate 3, gate medium.
You crash
Gate 3,
on BBI Virtual like that and submit the report and destroy your airplane or give it a lot of damage.
Press ESC to go back.
Bye.
Press Control plus Enter to fly.
You're done. That's already happened to one person.
Judge Judy? Oh no, you're not talking about Judge Judy.
Oh no. They will remain nameless.
Loading, please wait.
They what?
42%.
I said they will remain nameless. The one who wasted years of my time a few weeks back.
Pay. Opie.
Yep.
It was Opie. Opie.
Yeah, Opie.
Loading, please wait. 84%.
And I know he's been back on this channel with a different name. I don't care, but find out that's who it is, and bye you go, Opie.
84%.
I don't play around with that immaturity stuff. You're gonna come on. You're gonna come on the server and ask for help to fly. Don't come up there doing your stupid Mickey Mouse voices. You're a grown.
Take your stuff serious.
You're a grown man, bro.
Loading, please wait.
Why would you want to sound like Mickey Mouse?
Not only that, why would you come up here and act like, I'm confused, when we're clearly telling you we can hear you through your phone?
And then I'm telling you not to fly in fast, and you want to act like it's okay. I do it all the time.
85%.
That's what you sound like. That's what you sound like.
He really does.
Be real or don't fly with our, BBI Virtual or Gold Star.
Yeah, take it serious. If you're gonna fly, take it seriously. Don't act dumb.
Okay, please have power at this gate. Let's test this real quick. Let's see what. We're good. Let's see what let me see what tour guide we're going to pick here. Hold on.
I'd say pick that lady.
Okay.
Computer, enable airport reader. Computer, get Miami.
Miami Airport. Automated weather up from 02530. Wind 2802 at 10 gusting point. Visibility 10.
Oh no.
What?
Your winds at Miami are going to be at 10 knots gusting to 20.
Oh, that ain't nothing. That's not bad. Alright, passenger. Let's see, we got Janet, Sarah, Janet, or Jeff.
Who is this for? The crew, the cabin crew, or the tour guide?
Tour guide. We'll
Who
do
is it you used
Sarah.
before?
We'll use Sarah.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm changing my pilot.
How come you don't like him? Just out of curiosity, I didn't.
He don't
notice
do
anything about him.
Then you wasn't watching me fly today. He was asking for gates.
Oh, it wasn't today. No.
He was asking for gates when we was in the air, like.
Oh wow.
All right, so we have Ace Wallaby, Amanda, Bilby McStone, Funny, Brian, Professional, Chad, Skybro. I think that's who I had. Then there's, I've never had this one, CPT Canada Streamer Professional.
Oh yeah, that's a cool guy. He's actually a simmer.
Okay, let's use this guy as our co-pilot instead of.
He's a simmer on YouTube. I've watched him several times.
All right. Then we'll hit new flight. And then, before I forget, because I almost did, export the flight plan.
Yeah, definitely don't want to do that.
No, because then I'd have to start it all over when I realized, oh, it didn't load the flight plan. Alright, so we'll close that. Sounds windy here too. It's 3:30 at 7. Lot of freaking guys, I want to make an announcement real quick too. If you are a simmer and you would like to try out the beta of Say Intentions, let me know. Send me an email to 737flights@gmail.com. Put in the subject Say Intentions and let me know you want to do beta, and I can send you a link.
You know, if I had a way to fly, I'd be all over that right now.
Dude, that's so cool what I just heard.
What'd you hear?
So you know how when you're at a real airport and you're outside and a plane is overhead.
Yeah.
and you'll hear that noise it makes when it's up in the air. It make like a.
Oh yeah.
It's from where it's slowing down or whatever, but I love that noise. I gotta do something real quick. Hold on, I gotta fix my.
By the way, folks, I'm not eating cookies tonight. It's too late for cookies.
Come to. Let me. Okay. Alright, make sure they can hear me. Just want to do a radio check. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. You're coming through just fine.
And I want to do a radio check with my co-pilot. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, John. Ready to rock and roll when you are.
Alright, good deal. I'll be with you in just a few minutes. Alright, so that's good.
Awesome.
No rush, John. Just let me know when you're ready to roll.
Why is it saying... Alright, new flight. I don't know why it doesn't always, like sometimes when I'm using say intention, it'll say unknown airline when the ladies, when they're talking, instead of saying like, it's really weird why it does that.
It is weird.
Let me see something. That's interesting. Hubs of the day: Atlanta, KETL, Aberdeen, DYCE Airport, EGPD, Nice, LFMN. I don't know what that's all about, but let me get this real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Gold Star International looking to pick up a cargo to Miami. Okay, so I got everything I think we need.
Ground to flight deck. I understand you're looking to pick up cargo for Miami. Please confirm if you need any ground services or further assistance.
What would I need the ground assistance for? I'm just looking to pick up a cargo job to Miami.
Are you on the right channel?
Yeah. Why is it sweat?
I wonder if there's something on in the simulator that keeps switching the radio settings.
don't know what would do it. Why is it not? Hold on, man. Let me make sure nothing.